Sorry for that break, guys. I generally don't like taking breaks during my stream, but sometimes you just have to. I had to go pay a bill and log it, checkbook and everything. And then I did some dishes because there were some dishes to do. But on the upside, I got this awesome protein shake out of it and a sandwich. That's good. Is a break not business? It's technically business. So then, I'm gonna change our title because we are done with the Tomb of the Giants. And we're going to the next area of the game for us to go to, because we've done everything involving the Tomb of the Giants. Alright, hopefully Twitch actually updates my title for the first time in ever. And, we're gonna head on over to, first I'm gonna go rejoin this covenant. Because to hell with Nito's covenant, who cares about that? Go back to Gwendolyn's sexy, sexy covenant. Oh no, don't traverse the white light. Kneel.
Welcome back, Blade of the Dark Moon.
Enter covenant.
Very well, hunt.
Nito cared before I fucking murdered him? That's not true. Look, all Nito would do when I gave him an Eye of Death is he'd rattle his bones in joy, but, I mean, or whatever. He'd rattle his bones, that's it. I mean, as far as I know, he could be rattling his bones in disapproval. Going like, hey, why are you giving me one Eye of Death at a time? This is stupid. Alright, let's go ahead and talk to our Firekeeper.
You have made it back. Very well. Go ahead. You may rest here. Even an undead requires repose. If you require rest, If you require rest... Go ahead.
Okay, I guess I might have already done the dialogue. I was looking for some dialogue about her talking about Seath. But I must have done it some other time. Oh well, no big deal. Anyway, the basics of what it is she tells you that Seath is researching to find a way for, to achieve immortality, since he never had any scales of his own, because he's a bitch. And that he's gone crazy. And the important part of about that is specifically that he's researching for immortality. And specifically he's researching for, like, scales. Dragon scales. And yet he's kidnapping and experimenting on humans. I don't know if Seath knows what a dragon is. I'm thinking he might be a little stupid. So, we've already been to the archives for minor reasons already. But, this time around, since we're going here more thoroughly, I want to point out a few things. First off, the enemies we find here are fanged boars. Like, fully armor-fanged boars are found here. My guess is that Seath probably captured and trained some boars and gave them armor. I mean, since they're armored, they must be trained in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, how did they get the armor on? A couple of wild boars didn't just, like, run in from the forest and find a bunch of armor and put it on themselves. And the only other place that you find an armored boar is in the very beginning of the game, outside of the church around the undead parish. Also, inside of the church of the undead parish, you find a channeler, which is connected to Seath, as Seath kind of created the channelers for his own benefit. So it's pretty likely that a lot of the humans that have been captured by Seath and experimented on might have come from that undead parish throughout the years. Especially maidens, virginal maidens, you know, members of the Way of White, for example. Speaking of whom, I will go and give Rhea a quick talking to before we go too deep in here. Maybe the boar's bathed in molten metal. Sure. Let's go with that. I can't wait to die and be able to stop being this fucking dragon. I kept it for cosplay purposes for fighting Nito, but I don't want to be a dragon anymore. I really don't. Being a dragon sucks dick. And then I get rid of you. I missed. Oh, come on, dumbass. You're gonna die, too. Interestingly enough, if you don't kill the channeler, because he doesn't respawn, but if you don't kill the channeler, he stands right there and he is looking directly over here at where Rhea sits and prays at this this altar. Pretty interesting.
I was wondering when you might return. It is a great relief to see you. Now let us speak of miracles.
Yeah, let's speak of miracles. She's, by the way, the only one that sells Wrath of the Gods, which I've looked at before, but we'll look at it again. And, interestingly enough, I don't... she has infinite talismans, but I don't think that she leaves if you don't buy this Divine Blessing. So, let's buy it. Hell, let's just buy one talisman. Yeah, she has infinite talismans.
I do not warm easily to unfamiliar faces. The bonfire below is so very frequented it makes it difficult. I have lost all those who were close to me.
So, that's a little bit of information that says that there are people coming through this area other than you. Now, they're not necessarily from your world, but because you're in a hot spot for undead warriors near a bonfire, and, you know, we have warriors of old fading in and out, etc., it's very likely that Rhea has been visited by other players, other chosen undeads from other worlds.
I do not warm.
And that's it.
Then be safe. Farewell, Rhea Nox.
Varier Nox, fear the dark. Simple, simple. So, we bought a bunch of miracles. We've looked at Seek Guidance and Homeward and most of the other stuff. Let's look at Wrath of the Gods real quick. The primal form of force creates a powerful shockwave. Wrath of the Gods was an epic tale that tattered over time and devolved into the modern force. This primal form of force emits a shockwave and also inflicts damage, meaning it's the only good form of force. So there's force, which is the devolution of Wrath of the Gods. In the modern day, Wrath of the Gods is force. And it's very weak. It's like if you took a page and then skimmed through it, that would be the difference between Wrath of the Gods and force. And very simply, all it does is it knocks people back, and it creates a little barrier that arrows can't pass through, and it's basically garbage. Basically useless. I guess it knocks shields away. Then there's emit force, which kind of it shoots out force forward, so it's more like a ranged force instead of one right in front of you. Again, sinister. And Cacall cannon. And then there's Wrath of the Gods, which is force, but deals damage. The interesting thing is that look what it says. Wrath of the Gods was an epic tale that tattered over time and devolved into modern force. The primal form of force emits a shockwave that also inflicts damage. So this is an ancient miracle, like an old miracle that the modern day church, the modern day way of white, doesn't really have access to anymore. How does Rhea of Thorolund have it? Like, Petrus doesn't have that. And Petrus is a warrior cleric. You think if the Way of White was just giving out powerful spells to people, they'd give it to their warrior clerics. Even Paladin Leroy isn't able to cast Wrath of the Gods. Where the fuck did Rhea get it? The only explanation I can have is that maybe because she is from a wealthy family, they had some sort of influence over this and were able to get her that powerful miracle. But otherwise, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense why she, of all people, would be the one to have it. Look at that face. Look at that poor, poor face. She knows what's going to happen. Maybe. Well, either way.
What a miracle. I would be maybe.
Now that we have purchased all of the miracles from her and done everything from her, she, in a way, no longer serves a purpose here. We were the only person that really came and actually talked to her. So, she can now retire, lead a happy life. Hooray! Anyway, I'm going to, for this area of the game, I'm going to have Ring of Fog on at the very least. I could combine it with the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring. This is a good combination. Ring of Fog with Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring. So Ring of Fog makes you invisible, but you can still hear me walking, so it's very easy. Enemies still have an idea of where I go, but if I combine it with the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring, it'll give you notice. Completely silent. No sound on my rolls or my footsteps or anything like that. I am basically unfindable. So this is a pretty good ring combination. For this allows you to sneak up on most enemies in the game. I say most because, well, he could only see me because I was close to him. Oh wow, he lived through it with like 1 HP. That's upsetting. Take this, asshole! Anyway, you'll notice that channeler back there, when I'm way out here, fired off a bolt of magic. You'll notice that I'm way out here and the channeler still sees me. Well, remember that thing where I said that that Seath created the channelers for a very specific purpose? As you guys may know, and we'll find out a little bit more clearly about this, Seath is blind. Seath is absolutely blind. He can't see. He ain't got no eyes. And so he made the channelers. The channelers have 6 eyes. I guess Seath is overcompensating or something, I don't know. Or maybe he just thinks other things might have more than 2 eyes. So Seath created them so that he could see the world. I think that the way it works is Seath is able to see through the channelers and see what they see. I mean, it's either that, or maybe when Seath wants to hear something, they read him a bedtime story at night. They tuck him in, and they bring out the book, and they said, all right, here's the story of the huge, badass pale drake and the hot goddess that he knocked up. And Seath's like, I like that story. That's my favorite story. Or, more likely, Seath can see through the eyes of the channeler, so that anything that the channelers see, Seath is able to see. So when the channelers go to read a book, Seath is able to read a book. So when the channelers go to read the ancient story of Bible Black, Seath is also able to read the ancient story of Bible Black, and that's how Seath masturbates. How nice for him. Anyway, I do want to point out some of the props in the level. Like, for example, this one. It's a pretty interesting prop. So we're in the archives. This is a place for it's basically a big ass library, and it being an archives called the archives means that it should be a place of research for more ancient information or older information, considering they're archived. I don't think it takes on the meaning of the other meaning of archives, meaning that it's no longer used anymore, considering Seath and all of his best friends, the channelers, are here. So one of these prop pieces, this one looks very much like it would be maybe a oh, what would we call it? Like a turntable or something. That's not the right word, but for astrology. Specifically, you would put like a circular map of the stars, and you'd be able to chart the movement of the stars and the constellations on something like this. Which is a neat little thing to find in a place like this. There's also these weird urns. I don't know what's in these urns or why they're here. Maybe dead people. Did it look like smoke popped out of it? No, they look like just empty vases. Whatever. And yeah, we got another little astrology thing over here. I broke it. Not gonna pay for it either. I'm a dick. Oh, he's been danced into a frenzy. Like this. Ow. Asshole. Do the dance, Mr. Chandler. Go ahead. Ah, well. Someone's gonna do the dance. Let me just deal with him real quick. He's being a dick. I'm the only one allowed to be a dick around here. Alright, he's dead. Hold on, if I can flip him over, we can get a good look at his 6 eyes. We got him. Why did I go off of it? You can actually see the eyes. I don't know if they're they look more like they're painted on than actual eyes or anything like that, but whatever. Those are his eyes. Look at them. They're so lovely. Two columns of 3. We also have this thing in our set pieces in the archives. What the? I don't know what this is, personally. Looks like some sort of gyroscopic thing. But like this has to exist somewhere in the real world, and they probably just took it from something, but I personally do not know what this would be used for. Where is sunglasses? That was an iron pineapple, sorry. No famous people here, just me. And you can look, and when you look around, you notice that this is an incredibly large library. Multiple layers, multiple tiers of areas that you can walk up and around. Bookcases against every single wall, bookcases outside the wall as well. The very real thing used to measure the influence of gravity on the Earth's turning. Thank you, Dragon of Leaves. Thank you, Dragon of Leaves, for explaining to someone stupid like me what that is. It's a best girloscope. And as we look around here, you notice that these tables are, well, were covered in books. I broke it. Also, there's a floating thing over here, whatever. And you have this little lecturer's podium over here. But, oh, I have to deal with these guys, don't I? Come here. I love the greatsword, by the way. This is what the Guts' greatsword was before Dark Souls 2 turned it into a giant, stupid mess. It fits pretty well. Anyway, as you can see in areas like this, around these tables, there are books opened and cracked open, and there's parchment scrolls rolled out, and there's very clear evidence, very, very, very clear evidence that Seath is still doing research here. Seath has found his immortality, as we're going to find out very soon. Seath has found his immortality, in a way. But it hasn't satisfied him. He's still in here all day, every day, with the channelers and... Oh, ooh, that looks real bad. Look at that quill. Look at that freaking clip art that they didn't... It's literally a black rectangle around the quill. I guess we're not supposed to look at that very hard. Ooh, that looks real bad from Soft. Let's just stare at it. Right now, Miyazaki is sitting at home going, "No, don't stare at the shitty quill." Oh, man. Well, that's embarrassing for them. Anyway, Seath still has his channelers out here, and I guess since there is a quill and an inkwell, along with a piece of parchment, they're jotting down notes and everything, taking notes, maybe writing new discoveries from their research. And, hell, I think that we can maybe even read some of the titles of the books over here. Let's see. Playfails, Antiquity, Tome 1, Tome 2, There's Bible Black, yeah, a lot of these are just illegible, but you can actually clearly see a couple of the titles, like Playfails Antiquity, Volume IX. It's a JPEG. Oh yeah. This quill is straight up clip art that did not get fixed. It is a flat ass rectangle. I have a weird obsession with Bible Black. I'm not the one keeping it in his library over here. Jeez. Let's break this stuff. Hooray. Break this stuff too. Get wrecked. But yeah, very clear evidence that Seath is still researching things. Wow, that's a magical book. Just stuck right through the ground, standing up, huh? Whosoever pulls this book out is the King of England. It shall not be me. So, think of how many years Seath has been at this. How many centuries Seath has been at this. Seath was declared a duke at the end of the Dragon Wars, right? That was before even the Witch of Izalith became the Bed of Chaos. So that was more than 1,000 years ago. Seath was declared a duke and was given residence in the archives, and he's been researching ever since. And still, he's unsatisfied with what he's learned. Oh man, it's an open chest. I wonder what was in there. Seath is still unsatisfied with where he is in life. Hello. Oh, I guess I already came through here and got these items. Well, whatever. Just to be sure, I'll make sure to kill these guys too. By the way, the Duke's Archives, for anyone wondering, is my least favorite zone in the game to go through. Mostly because of these little pissant enemies, and partially because of how frustrating it can be to go through the zone. Like, the zone itself is pretty damn well put together. Like, for example, the overall flow of the zone is done rather well. The set pieces, the props, and where they're put and everything like that, all very well done. The zone looks great. It's just a massive, massive, massive pain in the ass to actually go through the Duke's Archives. And one of the big reasons is the enemies fucking suck. And also, there's what we're about to do. Don't need you anymore. Let's just turn you into useful. Like, that. And you can also become something useful, like, So, I put the Rare Ring of Sacrifice on, because we're gonna die. Oh, but first I have to deal with this nerd. Nice roll, asshole. Well, that was hard. Great job, Crystal Warrior, you did it. So, as you can see, we've been finding lots and lots of crystal stuff. And then we see all this crystal jizz all over the place, because Seath got too excited over his research. Although, how he shot it through this corridor is beyond me, since Seath is way too big to fit through here. Then there's a crystal lizard. Just crystals everywhere. So much crystal jizz. Look at it all. And then we come to a boss fog. And I wonder what's over here. So, interesting thing about this boss fog, you can walk through it and go, oh shit, it's Seath. Nope. No thanks. This is the only boss fog in the entire game that you can pass through backwards. You can absolutely look in here, look at Seath and go, oh, nope. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit right now, I'm gone. Yeah, you can absolutely just nope out of this boss fight. And probably because this boss fight's a noob trap. Hey, Torsten Frost, this boss fight is unwinnable. You literally cannot hurt Seath. Like, you notice, I did damage to him and he's full health. Ow. Ow. This is a mandatory death, and we are now dead. Seath is immortal. Absolutely immortal. And I mean immortal. Nothing you do, you cannot even cheat to kill Seath. If you open up Cheat Engine and you set yourself to one-hit kill, Seath will still survive. If you set Seath's health to 0, Seath will still survive. Seath is, for all intents and purposes, absolutely immortal. So Seath has found his immortality. Whoops. There we go. I can finally put armor on, thank God. Give me the royal helm, because it's dumb looking. I'm royalty. I'm going to be royalty now. See through royalty, but royalty, look at me. Beautiful. Also gonna have a fat roll, but doesn't matter. Why only 12 resistance? Because if you level resistance, it will increase your poison resist. That's it. If I were to, say, open Cheat Engine and give myself infinity souls and leveled resistance up to 99, it would increase my poison resist. It is the most useless stat that's ever existed. Ever. So, I want to talk about where we are right now. We just died to Seath. As an undead, that means we should have spawned at the last bonfire we sat at, aka the bonfire at the beginning of the Duke's Archives, because that's the last one we sat at. Instead, we find ourselves waking up in this jail cell covered in crystal jizz, so we know Seath's been watching his hentais in here. Instead. So, if anything, that means that I would have to think that Seath has heard of the ancient prophecy that Oscar told you about. It is ancient at the beginning of the game. Seath has set himself up in the archives at an area that you have to go through because there's no other path. There is only a path leading to Seath. He is absolutely impervious to damage, invulnerable, ready to fight you. And he knows that you're an undead and you're going to respawn after doing so. So once he kills you, he binds your soul to this bonfire inside of his dungeon, and this bonfire, we'll just go ahead and cut off from all of the others. So somehow he was able to bind your soul to this bonfire as opposed to the last one you were out, and this bonfire is cut off from every other bonfire in the game. So Seath laid a trap, and a pretty damn good trap. On top of that, his final trick is to fill your cell with a bunch of hollows, a bunch of crystal hollows, to attack you and kill you over and over again, in the hopes that eventually it will drive you hollow, and the chosen undead will be no more, and the prophecy will not be fulfilled. So Seath set up a damn good plan overall. He cut you off from the rest of the world. He made it so you're always going to respawn here. He put things there to kill you over and over to break your spirit. But, you know, there are just two flaws in his plan. Can't watch stream today? I'm sorry, Hajisk. Turns out you have a girlfriend. Aww. Scatterbrain has to go soon, too. You guys suck. Be losers like me. Anyway, there's two flaws in Seath's plan. First of all, we have all of our equipment. All of it. I'm decked. I am armed to the fucking teeth. I am ready. I could fulfill a small platoon ready for war with equipment right now. And he took none of that away from me. Second of all, the guards that he assigned here are, well, stupid. Very stupid. Very, very, very stupid. So stupid. Let's take a look at that key we got. The Archive Tower cell key. Key to the cell of the Duke's Archive Tower. The Archive Tower, once a trove of precious tomes and letters, became a prison after the onset of Seath's madness. The serpent men who guard the prison know not the value of what they hide. In the basement of the tower are the writhing mistakes of the terrifying experiments which were conducted there. Writhing mistakes, huh? Oh, by the way, I'm gonna swap my weapon. I want to use a spear for a little while. There we go. Writhing mistakes, you say? I'm interested. So the second we walk out here, this is, I guess, their backup plan. In case a prisoner gets out. Their backup plan is to play this goddamn rap music. And then these guys just try to run by, and I guess that one got by. Oh well. So they play this goddamn rap music, and they piss off everyone. Because it really angers the, oh, hi there. It angers the enemies down there. They're called, Pisacas, if I recall correctly. And it kind of stirs them into a frenzy and makes them aggressive. When normally, they just kind of hang out down there. These girls right here. These enemies right here. which spit out some magic. They've got grab attacks. I'm gonna let her grab me. Oh, yeah. Oh, she speared it into me. It's actually a really cool grab attack. They absolutely love to spam the grab attack, by the way. And we'll get better looks at them soon enough. How do I get the character I'm using? You just get the equipment that I have equipped. That's how. Easy. And you farm you farm like a shit ton of souls. I have like several million souls pumped into this character. They just want some love? Well, I gave one of them some love. He shoved it deep inside of me. Backstab. The bird I was earlier? Oh, that was called a dragon. That was called being a dragon. That is the dragon headstone and the dragon torso stone, Cacall Cannon. You have to go down into the Ash Lake area and become part of the Dragon Covenant, and then give them a bunch of dragon scales. Here's the Archive Prison extra key. By the way, for some reason, these cells are linked. I don't understand why these cells are linked. It makes no sense for that to happen, but whatever. Anyway, let's take a look at this key while those awesome tentacle ladies are writhing right outside the door waiting for me. Extra key to the Archive Tower cell. Perhaps the Serpent Men were careless, for there are several keys scattered about which fit Archive Tower cells. So that's more proof that the Serpent Men suck. I guess this guy might have, look like a bird? Yeah. I guess this guy might have lifted it from one of the guards while they were walking by or something like that, and he attempted to escape, but he didn't make it, and he just got thrown back in here, and they shoved this skeleton in with him, and eventually he just died. Gave up on life or something. But either way, somehow that guy got that key. Hello. Goodbye. Oh, God. Ooh. Trying to get some lip service with me. So, interestingly enough, if you do stop the music, these Pisacas enemies will go back to being docile and go back into their home and just go hang out where they usually are. No. Oh, burned up in the lava. C'est la vie. And we're gonna go up here and tell those fucking snake men to turn their shitty music off. Every night at 1 in the morning, these goddamn snake pieces of shit start blaring their music, and nobody likes it but them. Pissing everyone in the apartment off. And they don't give a damn, because they're selfish. They're selfish assholes. Ow. Can't you drop to the music box and just make them docile? Yes, but they aren't fully docile. Like, they won't actively seek you out, but they will still attack you. Shuka, shuka, shuka. Alright, we're turning this off. This... Ugh. Terrible music. Nobody likes it. You'll notice that there's some snake skin draped around this. I guess the snakes made this some sort of ceremonial gramophone or whatever. Because why not? Snakes are dumb. They're literally a Kingsfield reference. That's all they are. Get dicked on. change the music into Snake Eater. By the way, how come all the snake people wear little battle skirts? Little tattered battle skirts. I guess these guys kind of have pants on, but the mages don't. Maybe they're trying to look sexy. And succeeding, am I right? Am I right, guys? Anyway, we got another key. Archive Tower giant door key. Key to the giant door leading out from the uppermost floor of the Archive Tower, which now serves as a prison. The key's design resembles not the key of a prison. Indeed, the tower was once no prison at all, but a trove of precious tomes. Which leads me to asking the question, how do you get to most of these books? Because if you look around, there's no way to access a lot of these books. Normally, you'd have, like, a big rolling wheel ladder that you could go around on. You could push it around and go sliding about and have a grand time in order to reach different levels of the books. But there's nothing here. The only thing I could think is maybe... I mean, this kind of looks like a platform next to these big giant gears and cogs and stuff. So it's possible that at some point this would turn and maybe a platform or two would spin around from place to place. I mean, that's the only sense I could really make out of these gears. They look like they're actually put together in a way that makes sense for the most part. Which is surprising. They did the work to make sure that the gears looked properly. None of them are intersecting in a way that doesn't make sense. And they would definitely push each other properly. But, whatever it was, obviously there had to be more to it than this. I don't know where the rest of the rubble could have been, but it couldn't have been just this to get to all of that. I mean, the channelers can't fly. This is like the only room in the archives that's really like proper Seath sized for storing and used for storing books and stuff. But Seath kind of turned this into a jail cell instead. He jizzed all over the place, so I guess he had his fill of reading hentai in here, so I don't know, it's kind of weird. Now then, for the other important information. You will notice there are 2 Pisacas here, left over. They did not attack. And you notice that they're kind of shuddering. They've held themselves back in the corner, and you can hear very clear weeping of females. We know that Seath has been conducting experiments on maidens that he has sent his channelers out to capture. So it's very likely that Seath has been capturing women and doing some sort of experiments which result in them turning into these weird tentacle creatures. Now, they're called mistakes, but I don't know. He's got a whole fucking room full of them. He's got, like, 15 of them. If anything, Seath has been doing this on purpose. 2 of which are fresh enough that they still have some of their humanity left over, and can even weep and cry at their own predicament. And look, they are entirely docile. They will not fight. They have not become bestial in any way, shape, or form. And you notice she's constantly turning her face away from me as best she can. But she doesn't want me to look at her face to see what she's become, because she thinks she's become kind of disgusting. And it kind of looks like she has that's the thing that they stab you with out of their this little proboscis is what they stab you with in their grab attack. So that's hanging down there. It's a pretty neat enemy design. I guess they exist just because Seath is doing... I don't know. Seath Like, what does this have to do with Seath reaching immortality? Seath is supposed to be doing experiments specifically to, like, he's supposed to be doing experiments specifically to try and, make himself immortal, right? To give himself immortal scales, which he never had, right? But instead, he's got these weird fucking squid tentacle ladies. These don't look like they have anything resembling ancient dragon scales at all. So, if anything, Seath is just making them because he's a horny, horny boy. They got some sexy tentacles writhing around all over the place here. Sorry, sweetie. But in the name of lore, you must die. Well, it was a mercy killing. I'm pretty sure they weren't very happy with their current situation. So they dropped a miracle each. One was Bountiful Sunlight. Special miracle granted to the Maidens of Guinevere, Princess of the Sun. Gradual HP restoration for the self and vicinity. The miracles of Guinevere, the princess cherished by all, grant their blessing to a great many warriors. And Soothing Sunlight. Special miracle granted to the Maidens of Guinevere, Princess of the Sun. Restore high HP for self and vicinity. Good. Yeah. So, both of those were miracles granted to the Handmaidens of Guinevere, which stands to reason that these were at once Handmaidens of Guinevere, considering they have those miracles on the person. Which either means that they survived a long time without Guinevere around and just didn't follow her with her husband out of Anor Londo and leave, or they were captured very early and turned into these things, but somehow retained a portion of their humanity for this long. Pretty interesting. All right, see you, Scatterbrain. Anyway, open. It's locked. By the way, this door is the only thing, all the other bars, the door is the only thing here covered in crystal jizz. I don't know why. Whatever. Anyway, hey, it's a familiar face.
Hello again. What a chance meeting this is. Alas, I'm imprisoned once again. I don't suppose you could stage me a getaway. The archives. Such a storehouse of knowledge. So close, but just out of reach. The thought offends me so. I could simply die. As a student of the arts, you understand me,
So Logan once more is captured by snake people. He once more made his way into a Seathy area with a bunch of snakemen and has been captured by them. And he seems pretty blasé about the whole thing. Seems very, whatever about it. He's like, hey, I've been captured, you know. The archives are right there. If you could just, like, open the door for me, that'd be great. And he says he could just die. Logan's undead. Logan told us he is undead. Griggs told us Logan is undead. Logan's undead just like we are. It would stand to reason if I stabbed this through the bars and through his face, he should just respawn at the bonfire right next to us, right? No, that's not how it works. How it works. Logan won't respawn at the bonfire, he'll just die. So, yeah. Throw all logic to the wind. Game mechanics don't work on NPCs. Thank you very much for the follow, Andrew Mantes. Glad to have you here, dude. I hope you're enjoying the show right now. Welcome to Lore. So, yeah, we're gonna have to go find a key to this door that Seath jizzed all over. That way Logan can leave here, because, I mean, he's here because he's got this massive boner for books. I mean, Logan looks at a book, and he's like, I've just got to paint it white with my jizz all over the place. Lots of jizz in this particular area. Anyway, he wants to go find his own hidden hentai all throughout the archives and splash a little bit of his own crystal essence all over it, if you know what I'm getting at. So we'll help him out eventually. And it's so quiet without the sound of my armor rattling. So silent. I have the extra key, so I can open this. And behold! So, remember when we bought everything from Rhea of Thorolund earlier? Well, look who's here. You notice her weapon is her bare fists. This doesn't feel like a fair fight right now. She has no weapons. She's not even casting a miracle or anything like that. Oh, she finally staggered me. Rhea has hollowed out here. It stands to reason that a channeler went back to check on the parish, saw Rhea, and said, damn, that's fine. Decided to bring her over to Seath. Now we're having a fist fight. Fisticuffs. Wow, she kicked me. I can do that too. Did she block with fists? Yes, she did. Oh, I'm a cheater anyway. Oh, hey. There we go. She can cast miracles. She just has to be hurt before she's ready to. Alright, we're ending this like men. And down goes Rhea. And she drops humanity and ivory talisman. So Rhea got captured by one of the channelers, brought down here, and apparently hollowed out. And all in the time it took for us to get here. Crazy. Let's take a look at the ivory talisman. This is also a pretty damn good talisman overall. Got pretty decent magic adjust, decent faith scaling. Medium for casting miracles of the gods. Ivory talismans are granted only to female clerics, and their value is affected dramatically by their owner's faith. That's kind of your indication that that was Rhea. Also, he's just next to this dead guy. I guess that helped her lose faith. I mean, she was already not in the most confident person when it comes to her position in life. Request a rematch? It's impossible. She did. So, it probably wasn't too hard for her to hollow out. Where's my kitty cat ring? Well, somebody died. I don't know who, but somebody died. Guess I don't have it. Oh well, whatever. I have fall control. So, we can now open this door that was in our cell earlier. Try not to just walk off the edge and kill myself. That leads to this over here. Soul of a Brave Warrior, pretty useless, who cares? And we can keep following the path. And this actually does lead back over to where those snakes were playing that goddamn hip-hop music. So if you want to get, like, if you get that extra key, and you want to get the drop on them, you can definitely do so. Like to imagine all undead NPCs are on the brink of giving up and going hollow, and the only thing keeping them going is you? For some of them, that's actually true. That's why Rhea goes hollow the second that you're done doing business with her. So it's somewhat true in that sense. The second you've bought everything Rhea has, she gets captured and hollows out. She no longer really has much purpose. She has no one else she really interacts with other than us. I mean, I guess every so often a ghost pops by and waves at her. That's about it. Wonder if it was the snake that got up here, fell off and died. Logan not responding when you kill him is just him giving up. I don't like that because Logan has purpose in life right now. Logan has all the purpose in life right now. He is surrounded by his purpose in life. His entire reason for being, according to him, is the pursuit of knowledge. So, for Logan to just off himself when he's finally made it to the Grand Archives, or the Duke's Archives, the place he's been trying to get to for the entire duration of the game, I don't really think that makes a whole lot of sense, you know? And here's the maiden set with the white seance ring. This was what was being worn by Rhea. Also, this is right above where our jail cell is. And you notice that this is on a female corpse. It's quite possible that this was originally supposed to be the fate of Rhea, as you would find her here. But instead she hollows out. So let's find the equipment. And we'll take a look at the white seance ring as well. Nope, that's the antiquated set. Here's the maiden set. White hood worn by traveling maidens. It is part of their formal attire, regardless of rank. It is soft and well made, but does not offer much in the way of defense, making it ill-suited for use in battle. And that's it. So clearly it is just there for comfort. And we got a new ring, the white seance ring, which around the middle. Oh, there you go. Grants an additional attunement slots. A divine ring entrusted to the head bishop of the Way of Light, an apostle to Allfather Lloyd, uncle to Lord Gwyn. It grants additional attunement slots. The head bishop of the Way of White is the guardian of Long Cast and one of the great royals of Thorolund. So this drops a bombshell on us out of nowhere. It says that Allfather Lloyd is uncle to Lord Gwyn. What? So, Gwyn is supposed to be the first of the gods, right? He's the Lord Soul Holder. The ruler of the gods, the first of the gods. But somehow also has an uncle. Huh? And this isn't a mistranslation or anything like that. I double-checked what the actual Japanese text is. He is called O no Oji Roido. O is king, Oji is uncle. He is literally called the king's uncle, Lloyd. So he is the uncle to Gwyn. So this means one of several things. It means either we were lied to about what the inception of life in the beginning of this world and everything in it actually was. Maybe it wasn't just out of nowhere Gwyn started the race of gods and everything like that. Maybe there was some sort of life before that. And then they found these greater Lord Soul shards and it turned them into greater beings. Or maybe the pygmies had some sort of rudimentary intelligence. They could recognize family between each other and had some sort of, at least some sort of primal, instinctive, familial recognition with each other. Or the most likely suspect, FromSoft didn't think very hard when they made Allfather Lloyd uncle to Lord Gwyn. So, I'd have to think that FromSoft just didn't even think about it. And they're like, yeah, I'll just make him Gwyn's uncle. Why wouldn't Gwyn have an uncle? Well, he's the first god. How could he have an uncle? Forget about it. So I think FromSoft is just being dumb again. Just shake your fist at the sky and yell Miyazaki's name angrily. That's the only thing worth doing with this information. Really fucking weird that Gwyn still has parents. I don't know. to be quite honest. Because with the way that they phrase everything, the way that they phrase all of the inception of... By the way, you can see more jail cells over there. They aren't covered in crystal jizz, though. I guess Seath didn't like those jail cells as much as the others. Seath never put anyone in those jail cells, so he never had a reason to jizz all over them to intimidate the others, to intimidate his prisoners. Anyway, the opening cinematic suggests that there was basically no life other than the pygmies. The pygmies were an unintelligent, just little primordial ooze for the most part, crawling up out of the ether. Other than that, you know, there were the Greylands. There were draconic statues, great stone dragons, not necessarily living dragons, but at the very least statues of dragons. And that was it. And then suddenly, fire happens. There's a big burst of flame, and then these 4 really, really lucky pygmies came and found the first souls. The soul of light for Gwyn, the soul of death for Nito, the soul of life for the Witch of Izalith, and the dark soul for the furtive pygmy. And then they share their soul with other beings, with other pygmy beings around them, and create their own race as it spreads throughout the pygmies that they give little portions to. Except for the dark soul, which spreads like a plague and just goes from person to person because humanity is a plague, according to the game. So, if anything, it kind of suggests that there was no real life until the sudden creation of the first flame. Monster closet. Miyazaki loves himself some monster closets. There is no reason for this little area to exist other than to house this piece of shit enemy to attack you. Also, you notice he doesn't look very blue. He's very drained of color. He's gray. Possibly because of the sun, but then why would the crystals over there be blue? I don't know. Anyway, I want to just point out something fun. That's a door floating up in the sky. That is an honest-to-goodness door. Technically, if there was ground, I believe that door would be openable. Just a normal little door. And, that door is probably, a carryover from a different positioning of the Duke's archives. I believe that, I believe this was confirmed that, sometime earlier in the Dark Souls development, there was, the Duke's Archives was positioned higher in the world, and that door was probably part of the Duke's Archives. But then they decided, we're going to lower the positioning of it a little bit, or maybe there was more to it. And then when they thought they selected everything and just dragged it down, well, they kind of missed one. They missed a door. It's an attention to detail that FromSoft missed because FromSoft doesn't list. They do nothing but in-house feedback, or at least they did do nothing but in-house feedback for a long time, for years. So anytime that something dumb or silly or overpowered or unbalanced would pop up, FromSoft wouldn't actually know about it because they never found it themselves. They never noticed that there was a door there, or they never noticed that Dark Bead was the most overpowered spell that they ever created, or anything like that. And then eventually, when they're asked about it in an interview, they're like, "What? Huh? I don't understand." Miyazaki's like, "What? I don't know about that. Since when has that been a thing?" So yeah, because they don't really find fan feedback and fix stuff, that door is there forever and ever. And I'm willing to believe if they did a remaster for Dark Souls, like an HD version Dark Souls, that door would still be there. That's the kind of FromSoft quality I've come to know and love. Alright, so you'll notice there's this guy here as a trap. Miyazaki, he loves putting enemies just around corners where you can't see them, and then you're able to see this enemy. If you can ever see an enemy and you can't see around the corner, there's an enemy around that corner. Every single time. Miyazaki fucking loves that trick. The pendant door, yes. There were people that were thinking maybe that door leads to the DLC. But how do we get to it? But really, it's just FromSoft fucked up. On something relatively minor. Oh yeah, remember when I said the channelers are used to see for Seath? Seath did a goddamn good job. A goddamn good job on making sure those channelers can fucking see. I am currently mostly transparent. I'm completely silent. I am across this balcony and down here, and that channeler spotted me in a heartbeat. Channelers have good fucking eyesight, man. Like, perfect eyesight. 6 eyes. 6 eyes. Anyway, the other one's over here doing his happy dance. Oh no, he went invulnerable. Well, he'll be over here. I was gonna say he'll be somewhere nearby. I didn't expect him to be quite that nearby. By the way, since I have it, I can do the happy dance too. Yeah, happy dance. Alright, so I too can use the Channeler's Trident. Man, this weapon is weak. Then again, thrusting weapons in general are weak against these enemies. And I don't recall if I looked at the lore for this when we first got it, but we'll take a look at it again. Hey, Hound. Trident of the Six-Eyed Channelers, sorcerers who serve Seath the Scaleless in collecting human specimens. Thrusted in circular motions in a unique martial arts stance that stirs nearby allies in a bloodthirsty frenzy. Yeah, the happy dance. Everyone loves the happy dance. Yay, happy dance. And that gives like a buff to your attack. Or the attack of people around you. Man, this trident sucks. I'm switching back. Going back to my Silver Knight Spear because it's a pretty damn good weapon. The Silver Knight Spear is a rather good weapon overall. Anyway, we're now about to go to the part of Duke's Archives that I find to be a real pain in the ass. So, first off, we've got all these archers and enemies all around the place. And we've also got those stairwells, like what I just walked up. They're not just any ordinary stairwells, no siree, they're magical stairwells. Super duper magical stairwells. Quite specifically, they are stairwells that you turn a crank on, and then they spin. I can't believe he hit me. Meaning that this library, when it was designed for use by the gods or humans or the witches or Nido, whoever, Nido skeletons, when they were designing this place for Nido skeletons to use, so that Nido could pick up all the latest stories about corpses and bones, they intentionally designed it so that there was not a concrete bridge from one side to the next, and instead you had to come down onto this stairwell, turn the handle to turn the entire stairwell to go from side to side. Because they are stupid. Architects from Anor Londo are absolute morons. They just have to be. I mean, there's the giant corkscrew elevators in Anor Londo. It's so They're so concerned with making sure that it looks cool that they make it inefficient. Man, where have I heard that before? Bloodborne. My bloodborne seeping into the Dark Souls. It only means they were not concerned with time. They weren't concerned with anything other than, wee, turn the crank and wee. I think they just thought it was fun. They thought it was fun to turn the crank and spin. So they're like, hey, let's do that. There's another archer way down there that's looking at me, but he can't see me from this far away. Anyway, when you turn the crank of one of the stairwells, it turns the other stairwell around too. So now this stairwell actually leads up to him instead of the other way. Instead of being inaccessible for me. Ow. I'm gonna heal. Oh, 2 drink. Now this Chandler is going to get brutally murdered in the butt. No Chandlers. No Chandlers. If I could make something totally pointless that makes you go wee, you'd do it too. Not at the cost of a major inconvenience. Like, if my everyday life was going to the library and doing library stuff, then there is no possible way that I would want to have to turn a handle and wait 10 seconds for a stairwell to turn around anytime I had to go cross-reference something from one side to the next, you know? Or, hey, what if you're the librarian here? Dude, being a librarian or some sort of assistant at the archives would be hell. Hey, could you help me find this book? I really like that. And it's like, okay, let's see. All right, that's cross-reference. Oh, God, I have to go up these stairs, turn this crank, then go down, then go over here, drop down onto these stairs, turn this crank, and then go up, and then I found your book. People from Anne Orlando is stupid. Alright, so Sorcery Strong Magic Shield. Let's take a look at that. Sorcery, which improves upon Magic Shield. High Magic Augmentation Left Shield. At Vinheim Dragon School, only Magic Swordsmen on special orders are allowed to learn this spell, which grants temporary strength to Great Shields. Yay! So, very simply, it just makes your shield a lot more effective. So you can use a much less encumbering shield and get a lot more out of it. Hooray! That scared the shit out of me. Goku's in chat.
I love this format. It's funny and instructive.
Thanks, Raptor Hood, for the $1.13. Loves this format. It's funny and instructive. Glad you're having a good time, dude. Glad you're liking it. Man, that made me jump. That was so loud. We went from the silent library area to Goku. Going even further beyond. Goodbye. I killed him because he was being annoying. Oh yeah, I already did activate this because I had stuff to do. So, this area over here, you'll notice that there's books laid out everywhere, and it looks very disheveled. And some of the, like, you see sections of areas where books have been cleared out, and everything looks like it's been ransacked in a way. This is because Logan is going to come over here and begin his research, and this is when he gets here, it's supposed to indicate that Logan's been here researching very heavily once you free him, and he's been looking throughout all of these books a lot. But, I guess they didn't want to do the work of making a before and after, so they just made this room the way it is once and said, whatever. Hey, blue titanite chunk. We're gonna find a lot of blue titanite. Oh, that reminds me, we're gonna find a lot of blue titanite. Oh, man. God damn it. And finally, we get the Chandler set. Let's take a peek. It should be relatively far down because it's a pretty heavy set. And now I too can become the Iron Pineapple. Six-eyed Helm of the Chandlers. Helm of the Chandlers, sorcerers that serve Seath the Scaleless. The 6 eyes, arranged in 2 vertical columns, compensate for Seath's lack of sight. The heaviest of protective gear for sorcerers and imbued with magic. Robe of the Chandlers. Even after the onset of Seath's madness, the Snatchers, as they were often called, ventured to far lands to find suitable human specimens. So this basically just tells us 2 things. It tells us, 1, Seath specifically made it so that they could see really fucking well by giving them 6 eyes. And they help compensate for Seath being blind. It tells us that Seath is blind. And Seath is using them as a means to see. And 2, Seath was sending them out to find hot virginal maidens out in those churches and bring them back here so he can turn them into filthy, corrupted tentacle creatures. Because Seath has apparently been watching lots of weird hentai. At least that's the only thing that makes sense to me. For why he's searching for human specimens. Archive Tower Giant Cell Key. Hey, look. Key to the giant cell below the Duke's Archive Tower. It would once imprisoned countless maidens, but is now empty, save for a few key persons. They struggle to uphold their sanity as the horde of mistakes writhe at a fearfully close proximity. So yeah, they have to try and keep their sanity because they're looking at all those hot tentacle women like, oh dear lord, if I could just get out of here for 1 second. So Logan was just down there trying to suppress his boner, more than likely. Oh, an enchanted falchion. I don't care. And more importantly, the Crystal Ember. Ember for Blacksmith Weapon Ascension. Crystal Ember required for Weapon Ascension. The Crystal Ember created by Seath the Scaleless, handled only by the giant gods blacksmiths. Ascends a plus 10 standard weapon to a crystal weapon, which can be reinforced to plus 5. Crystal weapons are powerful but brittle and cannot be repaired once broken, meaning that crystal weapons are useless because you can't repair them. Crystal weapons are absolute garbage. And Seath created this ember somehow. Seath creates a lot of things somehow. And apparently only the gods blacksmiths can use it. I don't know how Seath got a hold of it a second time. Because, I mean, the gods blacksmiths surely would have had it at one point in time, right? But now Seath has it. Could destroy all your research stuff. Could stab him in the ass. Nothing else back here, right? I don't think so. You'll notice Jackass up here is sitting up there. What a dick. Just sitting up on top of that bookshelf where I can't get to him. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering what these guys drop, they drop the crystal straight sword. And you can get lots and lots of crystal straight swords from this area just by going through it normally. You decide you want to pick everything up. I have it to this side. Some things are just not made for being used. It might just look pretty. I mean, the crystal weapons are obviously made for being used, considering Seath has an entire fucking crystal army back here. And this is our first room, right? We're back in the first. That's because I moved that, moved something. Changed the orientation of a bookcase. That now we can go between this back room and the first room of the area as we please. Anyway, we need to go save Logan now. It won't take but a moment for me to run over there. It's not a very long run. That's the reason why I didn't sit at the bonfire, because if I sat at the bonfire, it would respawn all of the enemies. I don't feel like running back through killing everything and then saving Logan and then doing it all over again, you know? Actually, I can't do this fall. This fall would kill me. I'd have to do a quit out, which would be annoying. So instead, we'll just do this the easy way. Well, yeah, Hound, they're not meant to last. The crystal weapons are meant to be incredibly strong for a short period of time. Like, you said that they're not made for being used, but they're definitely made for being used, considering they're actively being used. Surprisingly enough, crystal skeletons are a lot more durable than regular skeletons, despite the crystallization. Anyway, let's open up the jizz door that Seath jizzed all over. Why, it's all crystally. And in the back we have this poor Firekeeper soul. Which, yes, that is a female corpse. Alright, Firekeeper soul, what do we got? Yep, both the same. Each Firekeeper is a corporeal manifestation of their bonfire, blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm saved. That makes twice. I must be sure to repay you. I will visit the archives. If I discover any new spells, I shall share them with you. Prepare to be impressed by the onward march of sorcery.
So I'm not sure if maybe that guy phoned that line in, or if he's supposed to seem really apathetic about that, but when you talk with Logan, oh, thank you very much, I'm saved. Cool. He literally, like, oh, you broke me out of jail. Cool, dude. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you later. As if he was, like, hanging up a phone call from someone. After I broke him out, I broke you out of tentacle jail. Oh. Wait. Maybe he wanted to be in tentacle jail. Alright, Logan. Want to be in tentacle jail, you can stay in tentacle jail. Here you go, buddy. Are you happy now?
Hello. Don't mind me. Go on ahead. I'll head out soon. I wish to lay down my plans before I visit the archives.
So yeah, he doesn't just go running off into the archives, because then FromSoft would have had to put work into animating him doing stuff. So he's just gonna sit here and do nothing, and, you know, he's been sitting here doing nothing. He's like, what's 5-10 more minutes before this guy leaves? Well, I locked him back in jail. He ain't getting out. See, like I said, Wouldn't be too long of a run to get to Logan. So, once we get to where Logan goes, which I showed earlier, how Logan gets there before us, I don't know. How Logan gets there without us seeing him at all, I don't know, but he does. Congratulations to him. He truly is magic. By the way, I'm really liking this fucking Ring of Fog and Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring combination for this area. It is really freaking nice for not getting swarmed by 30 of these crystal skeleton assholes. So anyway, once we get back down there, Logan will be just hanging out, chilling, reading books, and he'll be like, "Oh, hey, you wanna read some of this awesome hentai that I found that Seath had lying about? Come discover the eldritch truth with me," as he pulls up Abriatus porn. This chair. Strongest chair in the goddamn world. Oh wait, he won't be here until I sit. Never mind. Here he is. I thought I would have had to sit at the bonfire. Nope, it makes even less sense than I thought it would. No.
Hello there. I was expecting you. This place is truly magnificent. More than expected even. As promised, I shall share the new sorceries with you. And the secret of Seath's immortality.
So, he's got two things for us. One, he has new sorceries. Yay! Because Logan is an actually accomplished sorcerer. He is actually skilled at what he does and knows how to use magic, and not only that, how to manipulate the soul, which is the very essence of sorcery, is manipulation of the soul, in order to create new magics. Logan is far, far, far better than any other magician you meet in the game, because he can actually create his own magics. On top of that, he says he knows the secret to Seath's immortality. This is how you're supposed to learn how to actually fight Seath. I mean, you can also just kind of go through the game normally and figure it out pretty easily, but Logan's here to help.
Ah, the secret of Seath's immortality. If you have fought him and were imprisoned, you must know that Seath is a true undead, different from ourselves. His wounds close promptly.
And now he's going to say this line twice because FromSoft is dumb.
Insulation from death. His wounds close promptly, and no mortal blow affects him, granting true insulation from death. It is an effect of the primordial crystal, a sacred treasure pillaged by Seath when he turned upon the ancient dragons. So only by destroying the primordial crystal can you so much as scratch his hide. And it so happens, the primordial crystal is in the inner garden of these very archives, the Crystal Forest.
So, couple things there. By the way, Blitztomate, my favorite weapon in Dark Souls is the Chaos Blade. So, a couple of things there. A couple of big, important pieces of information. Number one, Seath is a true undead. Seath isn't immortal. Somehow he has reached a state of being an undead. Logan likely found out this information through reading the books and everything scattered around here. How he found out the location of the crystal, I don't know, but I could understand him finding out the basic information of the crystal and how it works. Maybe Seath had jotted it all down after some experimentation. So, the way Seath's immortality works isn't the same as... It's not the same as Dragon's immortality. The Dragon's immortality, the way it works is their stone scales were so tough, so impenetrable, so unstoppable, that anything that could even hope to hit them would just bounce off of it, couldn't penetrate their hide, and thus they were granted an immortality from damage in a way like that. Seath's immortality, on the other hand, is granted in a way in which when he takes damage, his wounds quickly close up. It's almost like he's permanently reforming at a bonfire because of the way that this crystal is affecting his biology. So much like how when we die, we'll go reform and reconstitute our body at a bonfire, Seath's body is constantly in a state of that. So the only way to deal with that is to get rid of the crystal. Now, where's the crystal? He says the crystal is in the inner garden inside of the crystal caverns. That is pants on head retarded. So think of this from... Put yourself in Seath's tentacles right now. His weird tentacle-y shoes. You're Seath. You have finally found your secret to immortality. You found a crystal, and you've merged its magic with your biology somehow. Maybe merging your soul. He's a dragon, he doesn't have a soul, but somehow merging yourself with it and connecting yourself to it. And so long as that crystal exists, and so long as that crystal magic is working, and it isn't broken or anything like that, doesn't get destroyed, you are immortal. Why does Seath keep it out in the open, in a big open room, in the garden outside? Of all places. Of all places. He could lock it in a chest. He could throw it in the ocean. He could hide it under a mountain. He could do any number of things. Any number of things that would make more sense than I'm just gonna toss this outside in my garden to prevent it from getting destroyed. Seath's an idiot. Hey Seath, maybe you should have just locked it in a box and thrown that box into another box and then thrown that box into the ocean. You ever think of that, Seath? The chosen undead can't swim, Seath. He'd never be able to fight you. But oh well.
The tomes stored in these archives are truly magnificent. A great pool of knowledge. The fruits of superior wisdom and an unquenchable desire for the truth. Some would say Seath had an unsound fixation. But his work is a beautiful, invaluable resource. All progress demands sacrifice, and I certainly bear no antipathy for that wonderful scaleless beast.
So we can start seeing Logan's opinion on the matter of Seath, and even on the matter of Seath undergoing his experiments on undergoing human experimentation and whatnot. Logan has always been a pursuer of knowledge. His entire quest upon coming to Lordran, his entire quest back at the Dragon School of Vinheim was learning sorceries, pursuing new magics and stuff. He even developed his own sorceries, which made him such a big name in Vinheim, and why everyone knew who he was, and he became a legend. His entire quest here has been to get to the archives to try and learn anything that he could from there, any sort of ancient knowledge, any sort of truths that he might have never been able to find in the outside world. And once he does, he finds Seath's research and information that Seath himself has compiled over many years. And Logan is ecstatic about all of it. He doesn't care that Seath tortured people and turned them into tentacle women, or that Seath turned random innocent animals into these moonlight butterflies and stuff. In fact, if anything, he's thankful for it. As he says, all progress demands sacrifice. Logan has very little empathy for those that might have suffered for this knowledge, and he is nothing but in love with Seath for finding the knowledge.
The tomes stop all allies.
He says Seath might have even had an unhealthy fixation on it. And that Seath might have gone mad because of it, but Logan, in the same vein, is extremely happy about it and spending all of his time, now that he's here, just looking through book after book after book after book for more information. By the way, his new spells are Crystal Soul Spear. Sorcery boosted by the knowledge Logan acquired at the Regal Archives. Fire a piercing crystal soul spear. These pale magic spears, sharpened through crystallization, are on par with the armaments of the ancient lords. So that's saying that a crystal soul spear is about on par with something like Gwyn's bolts of sunlight lightning. And crystal magic weapon. Sorcery boosted by the knowledge Logan got. It's high magic plus crystallization for the right weapon. Logan's trials was successful, and the crystal medium facilitated a stronger bond between weapon and soul. So, sorcery boosted by knowledge, blah blah blah, crystals. Homing crystal soul mass. The mysteries of souls, crystals, and the sorceries are deeply intertwined. Anyway, so Logan came here and he found all this research that Seath has been done, and a bunch of it has to have been about crystals. Crystal this, crystal that. Seath's body is covered in crystals in various areas. Seath is being kept immortal by a magic crystal he keeps in his basement. He's made crystal skeletons. He has crystal golems. He has a crystal penis. Seath is found so much use out of these crystals, and Logan, through his research, found a way to bind crystallization to the manipulation of the soul in order to create these crystal versions of spells. I have a lot of souls.
The tomes stored a great come again. The knowledge here is limitless. I would absorb it, then share it with you.
So you can see that Logan is not only happy that he gets to find all this knowledge, he's actually happy that he has a colleague that seems to be able to understand it all. Because Logan, his entire life has been spent being followed around by these little piss ants from the Vinheim School of Magic. And if they're anything like Griggs is a full-fledged sorcerer, licensed by the Vinheim School and all that. If they're anything like Griggs, they are absolutely stupid and have absolutely no initiative of their own. Griggs spent so much time following Logan, and Logan spent the entire time going like, yeah, that guy, go away, I don't care. He keeps just telling him he doesn't care, and Griggs follows him like a lost puppy. And Logan doesn't want anything to do with him, because all Griggs is doing is coming up to Logan and going like, Master Logan, you're so amazing. Could you possibly teach me the magics that you have learned of the soul spear, or the homing soul mass, or etc., this or that spell? And Griggs isn't there to talk about the research that's been found. He's not there. He doesn't understand it. Griggs doesn't understand how to manipulate the soul. All he knows is, if I look this way, if I point magic stick at enemy, and I use catalyst spell scroll, and then I shoot damage. That's all he knows. So for Logan to find someone that, chosen undead, who seems to have enough intelligence to actually understand this and use this magic, because even after Griggs learns how Soul Spear works and Homing Soul Mass works, if you aggro him, he'll never cast them, because he doesn't have the intelligence to do so. So, finally finding someone that's at least somewhere in his league has excited Logan on top of all of the research he gets.
Hello there. You really are very diligent. Oh, I understand. We are in the midst of a revolution.
He says we're in the midst of a revolution because he's finally able to do a great deal of research, learn a bunch of new stuff, and he's all excited.
The tones stop. Anna. Farewell.
And notice, it wasn't come again. The knowledge in these archives truly are limitless. It was farewell.
Hello there. Oh. Farewell.
It's a lot simpler this time, huh? A lot less, particular.
Hello there. Oh. The tones.
And he's got nothing new to say at the moment.
Farewell.
We'll come back to you. He's still got a couple spells. We'll come back to you later, Logan. Anyway, it is now time to go to... Oh, God. Shit. Let me go sit at the bonfire, because life's about to get hard. Not in the good way. By the way, I really like the royal helm with the Dunholm set. I think it looks a way better than the base, the normal helmet that you get from Dunholm. I think his helmet is kind of dumb. But the royal helm looks pretty nice. Anyway, we kindled that fire a little bit because I would like a little bit more Estus. Hold on, just to double check. I don't think sitting triggers anything new from him.
Oh, farewell. Hello there.
Yep. All that lore. Oh, the lore. Oh, God. Oh, there's so much lore. I'm gonna lore. And a prism stone. There's actually more prism stones in there. There's like 10 or so, but I was only missing the one. You see, there's a bunch of rusted cogs and gears in here. Remember that dungeon that we went in that I said there can't possibly be enough machinations and whatnot to cover the whole area? Maybe this is where some of that went. So this might be some pieces and bits that used to be used down in the dungeon. Now then, we came here once earlier in order to free Sieglind of Katarina in order to finish the Siegmeyer quest a long time ago. This time we will go through it proper. There's bunches of crystal golems. This weapon feels a little bit weak. Oh shit, let's use the Life Hunt Scythe, why not? I haven't used the Life Hunt Scythe for anything in quite some time. Part of it is because of the bleed buildup on myself, but no big deal. It's a much better weapon for these enemies. These enemies have some decent resistance to, rust. By the way, look at these three guys just hanging. Notice how they're doing nothing. Let me change that. Oh! What a god. So, they're very resistant to magic. Is why that dealt nearly no damage despite being dark bead at close range. These crystal guys are hyper resistant to magic. On top of that, Seath, since he is part crystal guy by now, hyper resistant to magic. This is quite possibly the worst place to use the Life Hunt Scythe on, considering that I can't make any of them bleed. Alright, give me something else to mess with. Terrible. Let's use it. Let's go hammer. I truly am Vamos now. I have his helmet, and I have his hammer. Squad goals. Clearly. Clearly it's squad goals. Come on, get over there. Uh-oh. We're dropping frames like crazy. I think our Twitch server is dying. That does nothing to these guys. The strength of Vamos' hammer is that it does fire damage, but crystal golems are fairly resistant to it. Anyway, after I kill this crystal golem, I think we're going to restart the stream. Because we're dropping a lot of frames, which just means that the server I'm currently streaming to is taking a dump. So, alright, hang in there, guys, and we're going to restart the stream right here.